out our official sponsor, Greenwood Stock Trading. If you want to learn how to make some passive income, some extra money, so you can invest in your future and your kids' future, give them a call for a free 10-minute consultation, 281-760-3170. Go get to the bag. All right, apparently it's being reports out there that Tyson Fury is going to go ahead and fight Joe Joyce after Joe Joyce's next fight. Like I said before, once you went to go see Joe Joyce and once you seen fix this. Once you seen Joe, Usyk and Fury go face to face, and then and Usyk look at him like he food, and then Tyson Fury turned to Joe Joyce and said, "I might fight Joe Joyce next." And I tell you what Frank Warren is doing, bro. It's what I thought that Al probably should have did with Terrence Crawford. So let's speak on it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. But let's read the story first, and then I'm gonna tell you exactly what Frank Warren doing. For a duck strategy, it's a great strategy. It's a strategy that I thought that Al Heyman should have used with Terrence Crawford. But let's get to it. It says Joe Joyce, the front runner for Fury's next fight. It says that Joe Joyce is now the front runner for Tyson Fury's next fight in the summer. Now that negotiations between the Gypsy King and unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk has collapsed April 29th, Joyce still needs to defeat Zhang, who I thought beat Philip Harkovich, who was another mandatory that's on deck for Alexander Usyk. Mike Coppinger of ESPN is the one that broke the news of Joyce being the front runner for Fury's next fight. It's not surprising that the 2016 Olympic super heavyweight silver medalist Joe Joyce is likely the next opponent. Fury does because he entered the ring as Tyson's last fight against Deontay Joy last December, and the two talked about fighting if the Usyk fight clash failed. So Joe Joyce and Fury are both promoted by Frank Warren, so it's a natural fight to make. With that said, Joe Joyce will be a grueling fight for Fury, and he could lose if it goes into it with the short training camp, which would have been the case if he would have went through Usyk clash April 29th at Wembley Stadium. So then it goes on. It says Fury and Joe Joyce possible for the summer. That fight is dead as it gets max. I spoke to all sides, and essentially they were trying to construct a 2-fight deal with the bilateral rematches clause. That fight fell apart over the purse split for the rematch on April 29th, said Michael Coppinger on Max on Box ESPN. I'm told there are 2 sites on hold for summer for Fury. He's not looking at retirement. Maybe a fight with Joe Joyce. I think that's the front runner. I think that's a hell of a fight. Certainly not as good as the Usyk fight. He said, I think Anthony Joshua is going to be out there after he fights Jermaine Franklin next week, and Andy Ruiz is another option. But I'm looking at Joe Joyce for Fury. For Usyk, is going to be mandatory fights against Daniel Dubois. Frank Warren promotes Fury as well, and also promotes Daniel Dubois. I'm told there are going to be talks next week for that fight. I mean, Dubois lost to Joe Joyce, so Tyson Fury is going to get the winner from that fight a couple years ago. Usyk is the loser, said Max Kellerman. Look, I didn't think the fight was going to happen earlier in the year. But what about later in the year? It seems like with all the talking Tyson Fury is doing, I think there's a big backlash in boxing amongst fans. Maybe partly because people feel symptomatic to Usyk with what's going on in Ukraine. No, I'm not gonna let it. And nobody feels that's not why. We feel it because Tyson Fury is fucking ducking, and you got to call a spade a spade. He ducking. He tried to duck out the Deontay Wilder second fight. People forgot that. He tried to get out the Deontay Wilder second fight. I don't know how people forgot that. He tried to get out that Deontay Wilder second fight. Don't forget that. And he tried to go sign the Top Rank and avoid a rematch with Deontay Wilder. Don't forget it. Knowing that Bob and Al Heyman didn't work together, and Deontay Wilder would have been within his right to not to take the rematch. Okay, he ran over the Top Rank. They bullshitting. He wanted to tune up or two. I think it was 2 fights he took between there. Man, I'm moving on. He want to fight me again, bro. Okay. be the mandatory, line that shit up, then we can fight again. But I'm not about to keep going back and forth with this dude. But Deontay Wilder told Al Heyman the reason that Al and Bob Arum negotiated was because Deontay Wilder told Al Heyman to go make the fight by any means necessary. And him and Al Heyman, you know, I heard didn't see eye to eye on that. And Al Heyman wanted him to move on. And the fighter in Deontay Wilder, which I respect and always has respected, wanted to go through it again. Then he tried to get out the third fight with Deontay Wilder. I don't have to go through that history. Then don't forget he tried to get out. He finessed his way out of the the Vladimir Klitschko rematch, and knowing he was gonna get in trouble for that wild boar situation. He finessed his way and hid behind mental health and alcoholism. So man, let's not act like we stupid here, bro. He known for pulling this shit. Usyk ain't known for ducking nobody, and partly because he's in the cruiserweight division, you know, for the most majority of his career, and you know, you really can't afford to duck there. You got to fight you got to take them how they come, because it ain't too many names there and too many fights there. He won a whole tournament, but slow it down a little bit. Don't forget, you can watch this on YouTube. Alexander Usyk dismantled Joe Joyce in the World Series of Boxing. He dismantled him. Let's not forget that. He totally dismantled him. He took him apart. Let's not forget that. He took him apart and made it look easy. And I think the same thing is going to happen in the fight right now. How he able to walk, and I love Joe Joyce. He's my favorite heavyweight, him and Deontay Wilder still. But you got to remember too, he tried to close, he couldn't close the gap on Usyk. Usyk movement was too much for him. Usyk does great fighting taller and bigger guys, bro. I keep telling y'all that. Terrence Crawford is another guy. You know, two dudes that got a wrestling backgrounds are superb at fighting fighting taller and bigger guys. You know, so I mean, you can read what you want to read into it, but at the end of the day, bruh, you know, he said it could happen later in the year. I ain't getting into that, but you know what you got to look at it too, is that man, Fury beat Usyk, dismantled Joe Joyce. He dismantled him like he was a Tyler's two-step, easily, like he was a Lego, not no complicated Death Star Lego. Old regular Lego. He just took them apart. Easy. You can watch it on YouTube. Joe Joyce versus Alexander Usyk. Easy. So we can't forget that little known fact. So they both beat each other's, you know, previous world. They, you know, Joe Joyce beat the boys and Usyk beat motherfucking Joe Joyce. You know what I'm saying? So you can't let that out. You can't let that escape you at all, too. And then, okay, then you got to remember this too. Then you got to remember too is that what you know Frank Warren is doing is smart. They don't think Tyson Fury can beat, you know, 100% can beat Alexander Usyk. Okay, they don't think he can 100% whoop his ass. So what he doing is he gonna let Usyk go through the car wash. He getting damn the boys a chance that he probably shouldn't get. Let's call a spade a spade. He getting damn the boys a chance he probably shouldn't get. Right? But he, you know, guess what? He get damn the boys an opportunity to soften them up. Then Harkovich get a chance to soften them up, and then he kind of take Joe Joyce out of the equation. He kind of take Joe Joyce out of the equation because he fighting Tyson Fury. You know, so that's the thing. That's the one thing that he kind of, you know, messing himself up with. But that's cool though, because before you know it, you never know. Anthony Joshua, right? His man, he could be Usyk's mandatory again too. So Usyk might have 1,000 fucking mandatories, bro. And each one of them, he already older, which, you know, think about him being 37, whatever. He don't got to cut weight. So heavyweights tend to last a little bit longer because they ain't got to cut weight sometimes. But then again, he old as he old. So you talking about Hargovich could be easy. The boys could be tough fight. The boys, Hargovich, you could have Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So they already knew all along, he was gonna fight Chisora, he was gonna fight Joe Joyce, and Tyson Fury ain't trying to fight no more tough fights after going through the ringer with Deontay Wilder. He not. He ain't trying to fight. He ain't trying to take no more tough fights. Real talk. He wasn't even trying to take the Wilder rematch. Let's call it what it was. Let's call it what it is. He wasn't even trying to take the Wilder rematch. Let's call it what it is. He wasn't even trying to take the Wilder rematch. Let's call that what it was. He wasn't trying to take the Wilder rematch. So yeah, he got a history of doing this shit, and Usyk don't have a history that we know of doing this. He don't. So at the end of the day, fans blaming Usyk and all this shit, man, it's whatever, bro. It's whatever. You always gonna have fans that's gonna always do shit like that. But Frank Warren's smart. He wearing an older fighter that's almost 40. He wearing him down as much as possible. If Usyk was easy money like Fury thought he was, Fury could have forged his name in history, bro. He could have forged his name in history, and he didn't. So I mean, it is what it is. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. However y'all want to cut the cake, he didn't do it. And every time he got close to being undisputed, it was always some controversy around him ducking. Always. And tell me I'm lying, bro. He like that dude from Jimmy Neutron that never could complete nothing. Remember the villain from Jimmy Neutron that never could complete an invention, and that's why Jimmy Neutron always like one up them and shit. That's Tyson Fury. Every time he get close, and where people saying why it's Usyk, where people saying it's Usyk is because they just think Tyson Fury gonna walk through Usyk. But I told y'all that's not the case, bro. I told y'all, man, he struggles with, he struggles with shorter fighters, bro. And I done brought the proof up multiple times. He can't see that. He can't see the punches coming, bro, from them. And Usyk is a step up from Ottawa, a couple steps up from Ottawa Lane. He a couple steps up away from the other kid, Steve Cunningham. No disrespect. Maybe in punching power they might hit harder than him, but boxing is much more than punching power, especially when you're on this level. And Joe Joyce might punch harder and be physically more imposing. But look how Usyk took him apart. It's on YouTube. Go look. So at the end of the day, I wasn't always a believer in Alexander Usyk. But man, after watching him and getting a chance to appreciate what he do, he a tough out for anybody. So it is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance getting notifications. We go live or drop a video financially. You want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. One time for the one time, Goodfella TV. Peace.